Another interesting week. Unfortunately, Sony did confirm that finally they were going to close down the stores. That's not great, but there are a few other interesting things this week, so hey guys, welcome back. Hopefully your week's been going fine. Unfortunately, fans of the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable, and PlayStation Vita gang they're not so happy this week. So to begin with, from last week's rumors, Sony finally did confirm the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable, and Vita digital stores will be closing for good. And yeah, that's not a good thing. But at the very least, if you do have the games from those storefronts, you can download it even after you can no longer purchase those games. But for the PlayStation 3, the store is going to close on the 2nd of July, and the Vita store will close on the 27th of August. And I think, yeah, PlayStation Portable purchases will also cease the 2nd of July. So any games that you want to grab, go grab it, because very soon you're not going to be able to get it, at least legally speaking, on the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable, and Vita. Not that there are any good Vita games that are still on that system that aren't already like ported to the PC for Persona 4 Golden and Danganronpa. So you know, it's whatever. But let's get on to some more good news. The Xbox Spring Sale discounts are coming up, and Hitman 3, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and a few more games are coming out, and it's going to be kind of cheaper. In the case of Valhalla, it's going to be $45. Modern Warfare, I don't know why you get it. Well, whatever, it's $45. Control Ultimate Edition, $20. Dirt 5, $24, so on and so forth. So, I mean, all these games are pretty good in this selection, so if you have an Xbox, go grab some for good games for relatively cheap prices. Now, moving on to Sony's big announcement. For April, they're going to be releasing Oddworld Soulstorm, Days Gone, and Zombie Army Dead War 4. So, I mean, if you were a fan of the original Oddworld and the remake that they had, new and tasty, I think you'll like Soulstorm. At least, as so long as it's literally like the same game with the same mechanics as the original Soulstorm. I forget what it was called. Days Gone, I've heard pretty good things. For a zombie open world game, it wasn't supposedly that bad. It was actually surprisingly good. I don't know if that was because expectations for this game were very low, but hey, go take a look at this game if you haven't already. And Zombie Army Dead War 4, if you played the original trilogy, I think this game will pique your interest, as long as you liked it. Otherwise, I'm not sure you enjoy this, so if you like it, you'll like it, I think. And I did enjoy the original trilogy, so I'll have some more fun with this game. So let's move on to something that I find potentially interesting and also morbidly bad, depending on what happens. So Microsoft wins a $21 billion US Army custom HoloLens contract. And so basically Microsoft's going to be developing these headsets that you can see here, and I guess it'll have a bunch of capabilities stated here, such as high resolution night, thermal, and soldier-borne sensors. So basically, if you're a Metroid Prime fan or any sci-fi kind of soldier type person, this will kind of fulfill your dreams, but this is kind of scary because this can provide many different, how do I put this, different avenues for different types of warfare. At least it's going to start integrating more technology like this that, let's say, could potentially be used in more wars, and I don't want that. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I don't like wars, so this comes as very concerning because it isn't being used for, like, I don't know, maybe like doctors, if they enter a room, they know what the patient's condition is, or at least they get a list of it, they can get the vitals. So it could be concerning, it may not be concerning, but it's just, when you pour more money into the military, we kind of know what that entails. So, well, we'll see what happens in the future, but hopefully this technology could be used for more than just military warfare. Maybe, as I mentioned before, the medical field, where it can be used as a tool to help diagnose patients and the like. And so we'll see in the future. So let's get on to some very interesting developer news. Control's developer Remedy is working on Alan Wake 2 as part of the studio's deal with Epic Games. So if you liked Control, I think you'd probably like Alan Wake, because both games are very weird. Their setting's very weird, the story's a little bit funky at places. Not in a bad way, like very interesting kind of story in its setting. So I'm kind of excited for Alan Wake 2. While I didn't play the original, nor did I play its expansion Undead Nightmare, I think it was. Control is a very good game, and I'm having a decent amount of fun. And I think in the hands of Remedy, it'll be a good game. As so long as it like delves into more of its weirdness, like Control did with its story with the Bureau of Control and just things like that, you know. Otherwise, it might not do so well. But I have faith in Remedy. The only time that they actually made a bad game, it wasn't even that bad, was Quantum Break. And I mean, it wasn't even that bad. It was just flawed. But, you know, we'll see what Remedy does in the future with Alan Wake 2. Oh, and it's just as a side note, Happy Easter. Pretty cute. I like this photo. And play Doom Eternal, it's a good game too. On to some games that got released this week. Outriders finally came out on April the 1st, and it came to much critical praise. While there are some issues like servers crashing and a few bugs here and there, I think overall the game got some pretty good reviews. It's a little slow at the beginning of the game, and it's not as good as the later game, but once you hit that late game, people say, hey, it's a pretty good game. I'm inclined to agree, at least during the demo. The very first section of the game, it didn't feel that great, but once I started getting more skills and the like, it got more fun and I enjoyed it. So I think those reviews are pretty accurate, unfortunately for Anthem and Marvel's Avengers. So yeah, go get this game if you enjoy looter shooters and have some fun. In another set of games, Disco Elysium: The Final Cut came out, and just take a look at the score. 94 on for its Metascore and an 8.6 for user score. I mean, it's just Disco Elysium, but with more content. So if you liked Disco Elysium, hey, it's more content. It's more fun. Otherwise, you won't like it. But I think most people that played it did enjoy it. So hey, take a look at this game if you haven't already, and have some fun. So next thing that we have on the list is Balan Wonderworld. And I'm a little late. It released March 26th, but it's not coming out to great reviews with a 54 on the Metascore and 6.8 on the user score. While it is not the most hated game ever to be released, it's definitely not one of the best games that have come out. And so, unfortunately, I don't think it quite captured the same feeling as Knights due to its Metascore and user score. And at least when I played the demo, it was particularly not that great in my opinion. Granted, I have kind of moved on from platformers somewhat, but I mean, I enjoyed Odyssey a lot, Super Mario Odyssey. So, I don't know. I don't know exactly what it was during the demo, but I didn't enjoy Balan Wonderworld as much as I did, say, Super Mario Odyssey. So, I mean, hey, if you got a kid, the game's probably going to be very interesting and fun, but at least for those of more refined palates and more skill, probably just play Super Mario Odyssey. At least that's what I'm getting from this. And finally, for this week's games that got released, Naruto Boy came out, and it's got decent scores, 76 with a Metascore of 76 and a user score of 6.7. So it's doing pretty well for itself. I didn't hear about this game until, I think it was Skill Up that did a review, said it was a really good game. So took a look at it. Seems to be doing pretty well for itself. And hey, I guess test it out. I haven't tried it, but I mean, it's doing pretty well. So have some fun. So now, I'm not sure how many of y'all play Apex Legends and how many of y'all play Titanfall 2, but Respawn is promising a ton of Titanfall in the Apex Legends for Season 9, and let me tell you, that's a good thing. Titanfall 2, it was a wonderful movement shooter. Its campaign was great, its multiplayer is great, its co-op is great. It was just a great game. You should go play Titanfall 2, regardless if it is on sale or not. Of course, if it's on sale, it's just a bonus, you don't have to pay as much, but I mean, the game is worth its price tag. In Apex Legends, if you're not into Battle Royales, I don't know if you'll like this one, but it is much more faster paced than, say, PUBG and even Fortnite. So, I mean, hey, I think this is great news, personally, because I like Titanfall, and I like Apex Legends, so we'll see what happens with Season 9. I'm very hopeful. And finally, in a game that I forgot existed, Starcraft II, Jason Schreider points out that more than a decade after Starcraft II first came out, there are still thousands of games being played, and it still takes them less than 30 seconds to find a match. Pretty impressive. It makes it even more of a bummer that Activision Blizzard gave up on it. And I mean, the reason why Activision Blizzard gave up on it is because they didn't know how to monetize it. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Maybe, change the units with, a skin pack? I mean, they could do that, but not that StarCraft 2 is a dead game, but it is less popular due to the fact that games like PUBG, Fortnite, Apex Legends, and the whole Battle Royale scene came out. and even games kind of like Valorant that came out. It's just with more games coming out and people kind of not liking the RTS type of game, I can see why Activision Blizzard probably aren't supporting it as much, but I mean, it is still a shame. One of the titans that first came out in the gaming world somewhat got neutered essentially. So unfortunate, but we'll see if they do StarCraft 3 in the future. They may or may not, depending on what happens, but for now, I know Overwatch 2 is going to be coming out, Diablo 4 is coming out, and I think, Diablo 2's remaster is coming out. So, Activision Blizzard, at the very least, has got some games on their hands, but maybe Bobby Kotick can put more money into development than into his own pocket. But hey, what do I know? So that'll be the end of this week's gaming news. Unfortunately, with the storefronts from PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portal, and PlayStation Vita are closing down, there will be some games I think lost to the test of time. There will be some games though that are still on the internet with ROMs and emulation, but unfortunately I think there will be some of the less popular games that'll get lost. Hopefully not though, but knowing Sony, they're not probably going to move any of the games to their new storefronts, it's a real shame. But I mean, besides that, there's some very good news, such as PlayStation Plus getting some new games, Xbox making some games, much cheaper, and the promise of new games and new things that are happening. So it's not all bad, but the whole Sony news did sour the mood. But hey, who knows what Sony will do in the future? Hopefully they'll put all their games in accessible places. So we'll see. But anyway, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Follow my Twitter, and I'll see y'all later. Hopefully next week with good news and not just interesting news. I can't deal with more bad news, guys. Please. Please.